What's up, y'all? What's good? Welcome to the What Up Doe Show. It's your boy Dame D,
And your boy E Skeezy.
and I got my boy East. Go ahead, East Keys. Introduce yourself.
It's your boy E
Yes, sir. Yes,
Skeezy,
sir.
the
We are back with
infamous.
another one today. We're going to be talking about why do it seems. Yep, and we're going to be talking today about why does it seems to be Father's Day not to be as celebrated as Mother's Day. I just want to come on in for a little bit. Want to wait before we start up the conversation for a few people to jump in, East Skeezy. And before I do that, I'm going to go and make sure I check our audio and video to make sure we can be heard. So give me 1 second. We got a few guests that I invited. I actually invited your brothers and sisters to come in. I sent the link out to them too. Um, Meaning that it was one of the chats that we were on. So accidentally sent them one of the links. So hopefully they come in and join the conversation. But yeah, I'm getting ready to check YouTube to make sure we can be heard.
Talk about it.
So how was your Friday, man? How was your Juneteenth, East Keezy?
Man, I was working. Talk about it.
So how was your Friday, man? How was your Juneteenth? Okay, so we definitely can be heard. So yeah, man, how did you spend your Friday yesterday? We did a show on June talking about Juneteenth, and it was a pretty decent show. So you got Father's Day coming up tomorrow. We had Juneteenth yesterday. A pretty eventful weekend. So how's everything been going with you, bro?
Yeah, me, I've been working, holding it down. And today is going to be a day of rest. Father's Day, that's tomorrow. And I ain't going to wait for a gift or a celebration. I'm going to celebrate myself. I'm gonna take that day to myself if I want to. Whoever I want in that day is gonna be in it. And if I want to get some rest and go to sleep, that's what I'm gonna do. If I want to sit down and watch TV, that's what I'm gonna do. I done lowered the bar because they done lowered it for us, so I don't really have expectations. If it turned out to be a wonderful day, that's good. But if not, hey, some fathers they probably get treated with new cars and gifts, and I understand we in a crisis right now where the economy done shot everything up, gas. But just think, we've been in that same economy just a couple months ago when it was Mother's Day. And y'all wanted to do this, y'all wanted that. We made sure y'all ate good. You know, we just want the same in return. Do unto others as you will want them to do unto you. Just think before you go out and get a gift for your father. Do you want this gift? Do you want this on Mother's Day? Do you want to be treated like this on your day? Because your day come back around too, and you be expecting that same father that took you out, wined and dined you, went to the bank for you on your day, whether it was your birthday, Christmas. This the guy we talking about. We talking about the guy that makes sure the lights is on. You got food in the fridge. You got them shoes you wanted. That outfit. That I need some money. Fix this. Can you carry this for me? Would you go do this for me? Can you stop by after you get off work and do this for me? This need to be done. I need money for this. We talking about him. And then on that day, you give him a little macaroni and cheese card, that the kids made. Yeah, we gotta take time to think about what we're doing before we do it. Because out of all the days, if not that day, that should be the most celebrated. You celebrating your God, your King. You celebrating your protector, your provider, your waymaker, your encourager, the one that strengthened you. If I mean that little to you, then you celebrate me that little. But if I mean a lot to you, then you celebrate me a lot. But that's how men are starting to take it, like how they getting celebrated or are they getting tolerated? And you can tell the difference on your day. That's all I'm saying. So think about that before you go
Right,
run the Dollar General.
Right. No, I agree 100%. And I'm trying to adjust my screen and stuff. I'm having a okay, there we go. And I'm still trying to get my correct camera up there. But no, man, I agree with you 100%. It seems to me that that daughters and the sons does not reciprocate back on Father's Day. And my question, and we talked about this last year too. This is the topic that that'll always be talked about. It seems like to me it's just a single father. Is it just the single fathers that doesn't get the same love, meaning that they're not in the same household as the parents? You know what I mean? So you have to ask yourself those questions. Because like I said, we have these conversations at work, and most of the people that comes from both parents having both parents at home. Father's Day is treated differently. You know what I mean? They get this fathers that have all their kids at the same in the same household. Basically is what I was getting, the message that I was getting from a lot of people who had their mother and father in the same household. It was like, no, we treat our dad and we do the same things, and we celebrate Father's Day just as much as we do as Father's Day. So that kind of opened my mind up on that. I'm like, okay, I get that. To me, it shouldn't be that way, but I get it. And then another question I asked, I'm like, is that bond, is that mother and daughter, mother and son bond just as strong, or is overly strong as that father son or father daughter bond? You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of things where when Father Day rolls around, and because like I said, I didn't even know Father's Day was this weekend until the end of the week, until we was talking about it at work. I haven't heard anything from nobody about Father's Day.
Yeah,
So
but
but
on
it's
Mother's
Father's Day is
Day,
tomorrow. We'll see.
the day before Mother's Day,
Go ahead,
they
Eastkey.
had banners up, they had commercials on the radio, they had sales going on, deals at Walmart, Target, everything. But like you say, you ain't even know Father's Day was coming up. But I'm gonna drop a bombshell on everybody right now, because it seems like they celebrate mothers because mothers is who gave birth and created them. But number one, if you want to be honest, we mothers and fathers, because it wouldn't be no mothers if it wasn't for the father. You come from my rib. We birthed y'all out. And now y'all want to think y'all greater or bigger than one another? No, we all one. So if you celebrate one, you celebrate the other one the same way. It shouldn't be no celebrate one more than another, because you couldn't get here with just one. It took both of them. How you going to celebrate one life? That's like showing favoritism to your kids, and they notice it. It affects them whether they tell you or not. And now it's getting to the point where fathers speaking up. They don't want that clip-on tie. Dang, I can't get a whole tie that wrap around my whole neck. What, you think life that bad? I'm trying to take myself out of here. But it's like
Yeah,
we
and it goes
underestimate.
back to what you were saying, East Keezy. It's because of that birth that the mother gave to these children. Why that bond is a lot stronger, and probably why the love is probably more reciprocated back to moms, to mothers back on Mother's Day. And I understand it. I get it. Let me send Big Mentor another invite. But no, man. That's really what it's about. It's about, in my opinion, I think the mothers get the love because of that bond that they have because of that birth. So, but yeah, man, I think that's where it comes from. But I've been speaking up. I've been telling, my children, my wife, things that I like, that I may want, versus, getting me some tools or something that I have to put in some work. Because normally around this time they showing commercials about tools and and lows and things like that, throwing hints like, okay, well, we're gonna get you this for Father's Day, so your ass can come in here and put in some work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, but I don't get upset. I don't get mad. Because at the same time, man, I understand. From my situation growing up, in my household, man, my dad was not in a household, and it was a difference when it came around to Father's Day. And I want to say this too, man. Tomorrow will be the first Father's Day that I will not be able to celebrate Father's Day with my dad. You know what I mean? So tomorrow probably is going to be a little bit um touch and go for me tomorrow because my father he passed away this past November. So this will be my first Father's Day without my father. So much. But yeah, man, I think it's that bond that we have with our mothers that that overweigh. And I'm not gonna say the love, but it's just something about your mom. That you that I'm going to say the bond is probably a lot stronger. And I can't speak for women, but I can speak for probably most men. I think we have a stronger relationship with our mothers, and I think that's why Mother Days get so much praise. And it gets celebrated a lot, East Keezy. So give me your thoughts, man. Give me your opinion on that. The comment section is open. I would love to hear you guys' opinion, your thoughts. I'm a little hoarse. We had some debate. We had some great conversations last night, and I need to get some water. But East Keezy, go in and give me your thoughts. I'm going to grab something to drink. So hold it down. I'll be right back.
My thing is this: if I get my mama some perfume for Mother's Day, on Father's Day, I'm gonna get my daddy some cologne. If I buy my mama Jaguar on Mother's Day, I'm gonna get my daddy 750 or something. It's not like I'm competing, but I'm gonna show that I love one just as much as the other. And that's almost like loving Jesus more than God. If you love one, you love the other. You got a son and a daughter. They identify with favoritism and how you praise one another. So it's the same way with mothers and fathers. The fathers might not say nothing, but uh, I work all week. I work about 60 hours. I work 60 hours all week, come home, and I spend time with the kids. I say, okay, let's get out the house. Let's go somewhere. I take, just say I take them to Chuck E. Cheese or Defy Gravity, Flip and Fly, out to eat pizza, Jungle Rapids. We go ride go-karts, play games, and I give my wife the car to go pay for everything. And we get in the car after a long day of having fun. The first thing the kids say, thanks, Mom.
What's that?
I just told you, thanks, Mom.
Right,
After
right.
all of that, thanks, Mom. They don't know. Daddy gave the car. We go unsung for so long. We pay for
Hmm.
everything. We pay the way. We keep it running and going. And we get the most persecuted. Dad, you wasn't at the game. Mom was there. You know why? Because mom didn't have to work. Dad did. They don't pay attention to that. They just know you wasn't there and mom is there. So it's
Right.
like you be cool with the one that's always there every day. So the bond is a little tougher. So the one that's absent is the one that doesn't get the most recognition, but that's the behind the scenes work. If you didn't, it's like the actors and actresses. It's a lot of behind the scenes work that make them look great, and you go praising and giving Grammys to the actors and actresses without praising the people who added the special effects. Just
You breaking
saying,
it up
treat
a
them.
little bit, E. Okay, look like E Skeezy having a little technical difficulties on his end. But yeah, man, I agree with it 100%. It's always a parent that seems to be in a household with the children that, and it's normally going to be the mother. That's why, in my opinion, Mother Day seems to be more celebrated and seems to be Mother Day seems to be more celebrated than Father's Day. I'm waiting on East Skeezy to come in here. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. Yeah, he's having a few technical difficulties, but he'll be back in soon. But yeah, and I don't get upset about that, because I think about my childhood. My father was in my life, but he was not. Come on in, B Mentor. I sent you. I sent you invites on Messenger, and I sent it to you in your email and on Messenger. So you have two ways to get in, bro. But yeah, and I understand, because I have a great bond with my mom. Um, and I had a great bond with my father, even though he was not in the same household. And it's a difference, and that's why I brought up this question, because like I said, I didn't even know Father's Day was really this Sunday until Thursday, until someone had mentioned it at work. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, I didn't even know Father's Day was getting ready to come up. And you hear about Mother's Day. I don't see you in the thing, B. Yeah, you gotta you're not in the stage for me to even bring you in. Yep. So once you come on in, I'll be able to bring you in, my guy. Yep. So, but yeah, man, Father's Day is coming up tomorrow. Hopefully everybody will have a great Father's Day. This will be the first Father's Day that I will not be able to celebrate my father, or be able to see my father, I should say. I'm still going to celebrate him, but this is the first Father's Day that I will not be able to, have a conversation with my dad, tell him I love him, and things like that. So, it's kind of going to be like I said, a touch and go situation for you, because I'm still trying to get over. I mean, not get over, but still trying to adjust that. My father died. My father died back in November. You know. Yep. So, but yeah, man, I want to say Happy Father's Day, even though it's Saturday. Happy Father's Day, which I probably will come on tomorrow, and will still wish everybody Happy Father's Day. But I'm going to send you another link out, B man. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna send you a link out through your in your Gmail. Hopefully my internet. Let me make sure you guys can hear and see me. Let me make sure you guys can hear and see. Okay, so I'm still up and I'm still going. All right, I'm sending you another link, B Mentor, to the email that you gave me. So I've sent you multiple emails, so you should have gotten them. But yeah, so what's going on, everybody, man? I need for you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get at your boy. We're just having a pre-Father's Day conversation. Why do Father's Day seems not to be celebrated as much as Mother's Day? And we know the reason why. It's that bond that we all have with our mom, that birth bond that's unbreakable. But we all love our dads. We all um show no difference between our mother and our fathers. But it is a difference, far as just being celebrated. And I understand why. Mom is irreplaceable. Dad is irreplaceable too. So we have to give it up to the fathers, celebrate them too, because we have feelings. We be wanting the same love that, we see mom getting on Mother's Day, just like East Keezy was just talking about, like how he like when they go out, he'll give the card up, and they'll go out to eat, have a good time, and at the end of the day, the kids will be like, "Thanks, mom," and stuff like that. When at the end of the day, it was the dad who had the bill, I should say. But yeah, man, if you guys want to come on in, the comment section is open. You can comment and you can chat that way. If you want to come on here live on stage, give me your email and I'll bring you on in. I'm just chopping it up. It's kind of like a freestyle Friday today, even though we do have a topic and a title. Really, I just want to come on, man, and just chop it up and talk about that, man. I'm being humorous with the title, because we know the reason why, but and the reason why, most, and this is probably a lot in a And I'll just be honest, in the black community, most of the fathers probably, are not in a household in this present time. Back in the day, some years, days in the back in the days, when families were families, I think the fathers were just as celebrated as the mothers were. I think as we went on and things change, and as the fathers, were not in a household, and it was acceptable for women to, and nowadays it's almost celebrated for women to, to be single, to be single mothers. So that's why it seems like the fathers are probably, for the topic and the question that I'm talking about, that's why fathers are probably not as celebrated, because they're not in a household. Some kids don't even know who their goddamn fathers are. And that's real talk. And shout out to Real Talk with Big Dave. Make sure y'all go over there to his channel, subscribe. He's always putting out good content. He's normally over here doing shows with me all the time. But shout out to Real Talk with Big Dave. Yeah. But yeah, that's the reason why, man. And we have to get back to, having fathers in a household, having mothers and dads in the same household. It means a lot to the kids. Because I see the difference in from me growing up, not having my father there in the household, to being there with me, being in the house with my children, and my son now, and my daughter who was in the household with me, at one point. So it's a difference how they look at you. It's a difference how they respect you. Not saying that they don't respect you when you're not in a household and you pick them up, but it's a big difference when you're in the same household as your children. So that's why I try to promote family, man. It's nothing greater than having a family. I look at my son, I look and I look, hey, look, and I started over, I got a 3-year-old, and before him, my youngest one, she's getting ready to be 28. So I had to start over. So I'm experiencing, fatherhood all over again, through my young one, and I understand. I look and see how he looks, and man, the respect that he gives her and the love that he has for her, and I understand, because I'm at work a lot. He's with her 75% of the time. When I get off of work, they're asleep. I probably won't even see him until the weekend, like today, and then like now, they're out and about. So I get it, us men, it's probably due to, lack of, not even lack of, but, a lot of us work a lot, a lot of us work second shift, and mom is always there, so that bond will always be unbreakable. So and those are the reasons why, we don't probably see as many commercials, we don't receive the gifts that we probably don't, the gifts that we probably want. We'll get wallets and, draws and stuff like that. Yeah, let me send another link out to East Keezy. His phone probably died out. So I want to, what I'm saying to my auntie. See if she want to come in. Yeah. I'm sending the link out there to your auntie if you in there. It'll be an honor to have you on the show. Yeah, but yeah, man. So I'm not gonna be on here long. I sent some invites out. I just want to come on here and chop it up for a little bit. And just talk about why does it seem like us as fathers we don't get the same love that mothers get on Mother's Day. And we know why. That bond between that mother daughter, mother son bond is a hell of a bond. You know, like me and East Keezy both said, I think it has something to do with just, you know, your mom birthing you. That bond is always going to be unbreakable. You know, and that's fathers, man. We have thick skin, so we suck it up. You know, we still be wanting the love from our children too. You know, because we go out, we work hard, we try to be at all the events that we can be. We try to give the great conversations and the good talks when needed. Um, you know, and things like that. You know, so fathers need to love too. You know, so again, I want to say happy Father's Day, which we'll probably come back in tomorrow and have a real Father's Day conversation and talk. But I just want to come in today and I'm just being a little humorous, just having a little fun, with the conversation, with the title. Why does it seem Father's Day seem not to be as celebrated as Mother's Day? And we really know why. Especially, and that's why I said, especially in the Black community. I'm not going to say all households, but especially in present day and present time, it's a lot of absent fathers that's not there in the household. So of course the children will take more towards the mom, because she's there raising the kids. So we got to get back to having the fathers in the household. Our women, we got to get back to making sure that that we're not having kids without the father being there in the household. We have to get back to being family, because you're not a family if the father is not there in the household. So I want people to, you ladies, I hope you know that, just because you got 3 or 4 kids, that does not make you a family. A family is a mother and a father and kids being in that household. That's what a family is. And that's real talk. Yep. So that's one of the things that I sent some invites, man. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully you guys got the invites to be able to come in. But yeah, man, I just want to come in and talk about that for a little bit. We had a great conversation last night. We were talking about Juneteenth. Always a good conversation talking about that. We had a lot of people in the comments. I enjoyed last night's show. It's always we always try to be educational over here. So it was a good education. I'm not going to say educational, but it was hopefully people learned some things that probably did not know about certain things that went on with the slave trade and things like that. So it was a good conversation, man. Like I said, we had a lot of comments, a lot of people in the comment section making comments, whether they were good or bad. All comments are comments. But look, and your boy is still closing down on 1,000K subscribers. I need for everybody to make sure that, especially my people on Facebook that's watching me, I need for you guys to come over on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and then you can go back to Facebook and continue watching. But I definitely need you guys to make sure that you're coming over to the YouTube channel, hitting that subscribe button. Yeah. So let me make sure everything is good, because like I said, I know B Mentor. And again, I want to say happy birthday to Brian Mentor, man. His birthday was yesterday. He was supposed to come on the show, but I guess he had a little bit too much and fell asleep. It's all good. That's all good, man. We've been there on that birthday. I got a birthday coming up in a couple of months. It's all good. That's all good, man. We've been there on that. Okay, so I definitely can be heard. So yeah, man. I see a lot of people is out and about getting the day started. Hopefully, the mothers and the children are out there getting preparated, getting these gifts for these great fathers out here. Like I said, man, we want that same love that the mothers get. And we understand the difference between the two. But definitely, especially, just show that same love. Especially if he's been a great dad, a great father. Make sure you go out there and, do the same thing that he does for you when Mother Day comes around. So that's all this today's conversation about. It was really I was trying to have add a little humor to the title and to the conversation, and that was it. But we know the deal. We know moms. It's not a I'm not gonna say it's not. It's not a competition thing neither. We just see the difference in the 2 days, I should say. Hmm. Yep. So, but this will be, like I said again, this will be my first Father's Day without me being able to talk to my father. Yep. So look, man, I just want to come on here. We've been on here for a half an hour. I invited a few guests to come on. I don't know what's going on with their because I'm check my internet. Earlier we was having a few problems. My son knocked the damn internet cord out, so my internet was not on, and I did not know that before I started up. So I don't know if that stopped everybody from coming in, but yeah, man, we good. We are live. I checked my connection, so I was waiting on B Minute to come in. I didn't want to go out before he came in or before E Skeezy came back in. But it is what it is. We will be back on later on today. I just want to come in and just have a quick conversation about Father's Day leading up into tomorrow. Let me go check Facebook. Let me go check Facebook. Okay, so yeah, I'm good over here. I don't know why. I don't know why B Mentor and East Skeezy having problems coming in unless their phones or whatnot don't die out. But look, I'm not gonna hold you guys up. Make sure that you hit that likes, comment, and that subscribe button. Your boy is still closing down on 1,000K. Excuse me, subscribers, and I cannot do it without you guys. So look, I'm not gonna be in here. Looks like everybody is out and about, got their day started. I just want to come in and just have a quick talk with you guys. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. But again, make sure you hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. We almost at the door of 1,000 subscribers, and it's a goal that we set out, and it's a goal we're gonna eventually get. So look, it's another one. It's your boy Dame D, and I am out. Peace.